November 24th, 2022. Welcome to our live session on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. With the new 3-year Canadian immigration plan, you're probably wondering, should I apply for Canada or how should I plan for my PR while I'm inside the country as a visitor, student, or worker? In either case, the next question you need to ask is if you should hire an immigration lawyer or licensed immigration consultant to apply on your behalf for Canadian immigration. Do they help in any way, and would it affect your application in a negative or positive way if you used a Canadian lawyer or licensed immigration consultant? Today we're going to do a raw comparison and a fact check about this matter, and this is what we're going to explore together. Hello, my name is Reza and I work with the Ingwe Canada immigration team helping applicants move to Canada, whether it's for yourself, your kids, your business, or even your friends or family. Well, we take care of it. Let me make this clear. I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber. You probably figured that part out already, but I work hands-on with our licensed team here in Canada, working on actual applications, doing research, communicating with the immigration department in Canada and overseas embassies on behalf of our clients. These videos are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on Canadian immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience. And of course, if you're thinking about immigrating at Ingwe, we break down the barriers between countries so you can study, work, and invest in the destination of your choice. We're licensed and we help applicants just like yourself and your families. So let's get down to it, folks. The answer that you're looking for is no, as it is not mandatory to have a legal representative, such as a lawyer or licensed immigration consultant, RCIC, to apply on your behalf for Canadian immigration. Many applicants, such as international students, express entry applicants, and other programs, do not use lawyers or licensed consultants, and they're quite successful. This means you can simply apply on your own for any of the over 75 immigration programs available in Canada without the need to hire a lawyer or licensed consultant. Does it help your case if you do have a lawyer or licensed immigration consultant? Technically, the processing times do not change, and you're still stuck in the same IRCC backlog, whether you applied on your own or hired a lawyer or consultant. Will IRCC look at your application or treat it differently if it's submitted by a consultant or a lawyer? The technical answer is no. A good quality application is the same in terms of IRCC, no matter who submits it. And a bad quality application is the same, no matter if you're applying on your own or with a legal representative, right? Here are a few myths I want to go through about hiring a lawyer or licensed immigration consultant for your Canadian immigration application, right? They have direct and dedicated lines with IRCC to ask questions or receive updates on your case. Well, this is false. They use the same methods you use, such as web forms and the IRCC Customer Contact Center. Your application will be processed faster through IRCC if you use legal representatives. This is also false. The processing times are the same for everyone, no matter if you hire a professional or you do it yourself or your uncle helps you. It doesn't matter. Let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of hiring a licensed immigration consultant or lawyer representing your immigration case. Well, the advantages: they can use their previous application knowledge to help your case. So if you're doing your own provincial nominee work permit, PR, or other types of applications such as startup visa, C10, 11, 12 entrepreneurial LMI exempt work permits, then you've probably done it once, right? But they've probably done it 20, 30, 40, or 100 times in many cases with experienced representatives. Experience is quite important. Lawyers can take your case for judicial review in federal court, and licensed immigration consultants can appeal specific cases at the Immigration Appeal Division, such as family sponsorship or PR renewals. The lawyer or licensed consultant is typically in touch with other legal practitioners inside Canada and is aware of major trends, statistics, and other practical info regarding IRCC. You can find this info too, but that would technically become your full-time job, right? Another advantage is lawyers and immigration consultants have access to a IRCC mailbox to ask specific, let's say more complicated questions from IRCC directly, and can use that response in a legal submission or in an application. It does take time to get an answer from this legal representative mailbox, usually 45, 60, sometimes 90 days, but they do have access to that. Whether that's an advantage or not, I'll leave that up to you. Both licensed immigration consultants and lawyers have professional errors and omissions insurance, which you can claim through if they made a mistake on your file that cost you time and money. Both lawyers and licensed immigration consultants have the option to have insured client trust accounts where they can hold clients' monies for them before it's earned by them. So before its actual work is done and they can sort of charge you, they're keeping that in a trust account, which is typically insured. If you prepare your own application and want another qualified and experienced person to review it before you submit, this would also be an advantage. You can also ask your mom or dad to review it, but let's be real. How many IRCC applications have they handled? And if you're busy and don't have time to do all the research, go through the forms, checklists, and make sure your application is 100% correct, then having a legal representative is good as an outsource option. And for more advanced and long-term applications such as startup visa, provincial nominee entrepreneur, family sponsorship, PNP skilled workers, and similar streams, or even self-employed, a legal representative can be useful if they can guide you throughout the whole process and be your advisor throughout that whole 1 to 3 year period, which is typically the waiting time for these types of programs until you get your PR. What are the disadvantages? And you probably thought I forgot about that. No way. You will spend more money in having a legal representative such as a lawyer, licensed immigration consultant help you with your application. That's a fact. Your processing times do not change with the IRCC, whether you hire somebody to do it or you do it on your own. Lawyers and licensed immigration consultants take on many cases, and sometimes they're overloaded with their own clients. And hence, in some cases, they do not have time to pay attention to your case. Be careful with whom you work with, whether they're a one-person operation or a team or a full-fledged company with staff. For simple applications, lawyers and consultants still charge similar fees since they have a certain cost structure or overhead expense. So no matter if it's a super easy one or a medium case, they'll charge the same. For complicated cases, they will typically charge higher because there's more work involved. And if you hire a bad lawyer or licensed consultant, it can become a headache. It's like going to a bad surgeon, doctor, or tax accountant. A good one can really help you, and a bad one can really ruin you. What's the difference between lawyers and licensed immigration consultants, which are also known as RCICs? Well, lawyers go through law school and are licensed with the Law Society of Canada. They can practice all types of law. There are no restrictions on what type of law they practice. For example, a lawyer can practice real estate law, commercial law, criminal law, family law, and immigration, or a combination of these. They can specialize in a specific field, but many lawyers also practice multiple categories of law, including immigration. Lawyers can file for judicial review at federal court for immigration cases. Licensed immigration consultants cannot. Licensed immigration consultants, also known as RCICs, are licensed under regulatory bodies such as the CICC, which is the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants, and only specialize in immigration and go through a postgraduate certificate program after they receive a undergraduate in any other subject. They are not allowed with this license to practice anything else other than immigration, no other legal matters. They only do immigration. Both lawyers and licensed immigration consultants have a complaint process with the regulatory licensed bodies in Canada. Each one has its own procedure if a client needs to make a formal complaint about their legal representative who represented them. Remember that this option is only available to you if you use a licensed consultant or a lawyer in Canada, not travel agents or immigration immigration agents overseas. Both licensed and immigration consultants and lawyers have access to the Immigration Appeal Division and the Refugee Appeal Division of the IRCC. Lawyers cannot pay commissions or referral fees to third parties who are not licensed lawyers, but licensed immigration consultants can pay referral fees or commissions to third parties. Both licensed immigration consultants and lawyers can represent your application in almost all provinces and regions of Canada, except for the province of Quebec, where they require additional licensing from that specific province. Saskatchewan's Immigration Nominee Program, also known as the SIMP, also has specific criteria if you're applying and are represented by a licensed consultant, as they need specific security bonds before they're accepted as your legal representative, such as a consultant, through that specific provincial program. Few points that you should also consider when deciding on who can help you with your Canadian immigration application. You can also ask your family or friends to be your legal representative for your immigration application. As long as you complete a use of representative form, IMM 5476E, and include their information as an unpaid representative, they can communicate and help you with the immigration application. You can have both unpaid and paid legal representatives for your Canadian immigration application. You can remove, cancel your existing legal representative at any time by completing the same form, the IMM 5476E, and submitting it through the web form portal of the IRCC. You can also add or change your legal representative using the same method. Your legal representative, if they're a lawyer or licensed immigration consultant, is obliged to return to you all your application documents and supporting documents if you request them, in case you're changing them, canceling them as your legal representative. You can also hire a legal representative halfway through your application as well. Not the best option, but sometimes it's more useful for you later on in your file processing. But make sure you have all your documents and forms that you originally submitted to IRCC at the initial stage to help the lawyer or licensed consultant figure out where you are and what you submitted. There you have it, everyone, a detailed breakdown of key points to consider when deciding on whether you need a lawyer or licensed immigration consultant to help with your Canadian immigration file. Sometimes hiring a legal representative can be helpful, and sometimes it may not be the best use of money. It all comes down to the actual application category, the complexity of it, and how well versed you are in handling your immigration. Similar to taxes or other professional matters. Are you a DIY, do-it-yourself type, or do you prefer to have the expertise of a professional or outsourcing due to time constraints? Remember, not all lawyers and licensed immigration consultants are created equally. There are good ones and there's bad ones, just like any other profession. And of course, if you're thinking about immigrating to Canada through investment, business, work, sponsorship, or studies, you are at the right place. I can guarantee you only one point. You will know what to expect, the entire process clearly laid out for you, all your costs and risks identified, and where we can provide you 100% support as our client. No surprises, just results. We have a $1 million liability insurance which protects you and us from fraud or mistakes, as well as a dedicated client trust account with the Canadian banks. Our team speaks over 8 languages, and we help applicants from over 47 different countries during their during their Canadian immigration process. And you can click the link below this video and get a free email assessment for eligible applicants. And if you're interested in a Canadian Startup Visa, we will be hosting a webinar November 29th, 2022. So it's this upcoming Tuesday. And we will be discussing all the startup latest news updates and the do's and don'ts. At Ingwe, we are experts at this program, and hence we are conducting and hosting this webinar. And if you already know what you have a clear timeline, you've got specific questions, and you're ready to apply, well, let's book a one-on-one consultation. You can use the consultation link with me or any of my licensed team members using the link in the description of this video. And of course, we're here every week on our live YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every Thursday at 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time, where we will answer all of your Canadian immigration questions for free on the spot. Okay, and we're in our live session now. We'll see if there's any questions. We have a lower audience today, but that's okay. Safa, how are you? Nice to see you. Safa says, hi Reza, thanks for your support as usual. Our lawyer in SUV said that we do not allow to contact us directly in any situation. Is this normal? Oh, Safa, that is 100% lie. Okay, that is the worst lie I've ever heard in my life. Designated organizations should be in touch with the applicants. How will they guide you? How will you give them regular reports about your progress? That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Okay, they do have agents, right? And maybe you coordinate through the agent, but you are not allowed to contact a designated organization directly in any situation. Oh my God. That is the funniest thing. You know what? We should have like a live session or like a community post where we can put everyone's lies, all these lawyers and consultants. Okay, folks, I'm a consultant too, but we want to reveal these. We should have like an investigative report into what they're feeding people, right? I'm going to use that in my webinar next Tuesday, Safa. You guys can, if anyone's interested, you can register using the link in the description, and we also on LinkedIn, we have it on our company page, on my own page for the registration. I'm going to use the stupidest comments in terms of what lawyers and consultants have and agents have informed their clients. You can't contact a designated institution. That's ridiculous, Safa. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we're informing our audience today. And of course, later on, because this recording will be live, will be publicly available after this session. Yusuf Maher says, hello, how are you? It's nice to see you. How can you change my Canada tourist visa to study residence from inside Canada? Yusuf, it's possible if you're, okay, well, here's a follow-up with Yusuf Maher. I have a tourist visit visa. Can I book a postgraduate program and get acceptance letter from outside of Canada and save time before coming, or I have to do it from inside Canada? No, you can apply from outside. It does take time, so be ready depending on the region you're in for a study permit approval. But if you're coming in quickly, then potentially you can convert from inside by doing a prerequisite and having a conditional letter of acceptance if you meet the requirements. Or if you have a US visa, you can apply from outside and just flagpole, right? So you've got different options, but it depends your timeline, your current visas, Canada, US, and what you really want to do. And if you're eligible to actually process it from inside, let us know. We do have an education team, like a dedicated team, and of course, they know way more about education. I know the immigration process and what we need to do, but in terms of the programs to select the letters of admissions, all that, and the study plans, they're the experts, and we can connect you with them. You can drop us an email, and we'd be happy to help. So that's that. I'm going to communicate to our audience on Facebook and Instagram. I cannot see your comments or questions on those platforms because of the streaming software we're using, which is called OBS. So we can see the YouTube channel audience comments and questions, but not on Facebook and Instagram. So I do apologize if I cannot answer any questions or comments you may have on those two platforms. Join us on YouTube. That's the best place for us to be able to communicate with our live audience. And of course, everyone, we're here every Thursday. So if you missed this session and you're like, okay, Reza is probably the only consultant who did an advantage and disadvantage comparison of why you would need an immigration lawyer, licensed immigration consultant. Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, the truth has to be told, right? All this information is public. You just have to know where to grab it, how to organize it, and how to present it. That's it, folks. There's no proprietary information in any of our videos, in any of our lives. And of course, Canadian immigration is also, everything is public. So everything about instructions, how-tos, checklists, federal court appeals, policy updates, everything is online. It's available. You just need to know how to access it. Safa Saleh says, okay, that's clear, but why then you think that happened even we got LOS recently? You know, Safa, The reason why a lawyer consultant would tell you that, I don't know what their intentions were, but I would say that they're very protective, right? They don't want people to open up and, tomorrow if you have a friend you want to refer to do startup visa and then have a direct connection with the designated organization. That could be it. There are some designated organizations that are less in touch with their clients, and they're typically more flagged by IRCC because they have a bad reputation. I'm not going to name them. I'm just going to say there's a few on the West Coast. But the point is, some people are protective, and some designated organizations, they have like this agency agreements, and they do communicate with clients, but not being able, like somebody telling you you're not allowed to communicate with them, it's weird. You can communicate, maybe they don't respond to you. That's very typical, right? Like maybe they're busy or something, but not being allowed to communicate with the designated organization that issued the letter of support to you, or before they issued it or after, that's ridiculous, folks. Okay. And just if you're joining us, we do have our startup visa webinar next Tuesday, November 29th. I believe it's 8:30 EST, which, in the region you're in, it could be 5-6 p.m. Check it out. We've got the registration link in the description of this video, on our social media, on our LinkedIn page, on my LinkedIn page as well. And I hope I've been able to answer a few questions. We didn't have that many, but that's okay. More rest for me. Exactly. Thanks for everyone to join us today that's joined us, and we will be back next Thursday. Lots of exciting things happening with BC Provincial Entrepreneur Program Points Matrix. We're releasing a video tomorrow on the new Ontario Succession Initiative Entrepreneur Pilot Program. So a little bit of a breakdown, and I had a meeting with the incubator that was dealing with that, handling that. So great video, definitely watch it. And we've got the webinar about startup next week, and then we're doing a startup latest news in December again. So we've got a lot of videos and content coming up in the next 45 days, or not even, like 40 days, I think, before the end of the year, like 37 days before the end of 2022. Can you believe it? We're almost at the end of the year. This will be probably our last 1.5 months of lives until we restart in January. Okay, folks? Again, make sure you register for our webinar next week on Tuesday. We've got a regular live session on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram on Thursday. Okay? Take care, everyone. Thank you, Safa. Sure, I will be there. Thanks a lot. No worries. Take care, everyone. We will see you soon.